Hey YouTube, and welcome to the Wyvern Watch. Sorry, it's been a while since my last video, so apologies for that, but I'm back, and as promised, I've now added deck number 56 to my collection. It's complete. To be fair, I've had it complete a week or so now. It's just it's been very busy for me around the Easter period. Kids off school and trying to get back into work habits has been difficult. But we're here. I've got a few minutes to put this video together. I've really wanted to do it. I've really enjoyed putting this deck together. It didn't get hit in the ban list too much, a little bit, but not too much, which obviously did delay things a little bit because I did have Toad in there in the extra deck, and I did have obviously a Bahamut Shark, and I also had the Abyss Dweller. So obviously my extra deck needed tweaking a little bit, but I'll show you what obviously I've managed to get together. I don't want to talk on too much, guys. You guys have told me in the comments that I tend to rabbit on a little bit too much, so let's try and not do that on this particular video. But like I said before, I really enjoyed putting this list together. It's been a really good fun getting the cards, because obviously they've seen a lot of reprints recently, so there's some newer prints in here. There's some of the older stuff as well. So yeah, like I say, it's been challenging getting some of the components, certainly some of the older stuff, and then of course they got a reprint, so I'll show you those in a minute. But yeah, this one's the first one. Mermail Abyss. I think it's a pretty much standard 3-off, and of course it special summons itself from the hand whilst adding a level 4 Mermail as well, so it's a pretty understandable as to why it might be a pretty standard 3-off. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to make sure that this is level. I think it is. But yes, there's no reason not to play it at 3, so we're stuck with that. It's a pretty heavy monster count, by the way, this guy, so there's lots and lots of 3-offs. There's actually 31 monsters in this deck. It's a 42 card list. So there's only 5 spells and 6 traps in here, so like I say, a very heavy monster lineup. This is one of the newer cards, of course. Like I said before, it's seen a little bit of new support. This came out in Rage of the Abyss, which I suppose isn't that new anymore, but it's newish. Shadow Squad can be discarded, of course, and special summon from the deck, and also can change water monsters to level 7, which is nice because obviously we are playing a few rank 7s in the extra deck, so obviously it's enabling that to do so. But I think special summoning from the deck, of course, is the primary function. We then move on to the reprinted card I was saying. I did go and buy a full playset of super rares, thinking there's no chance this one's going to get a reprint now, and then sure enough, Stampede came along on Rarity Collection, not Rarity Collection, yeah, it was just called Stampede, wasn't it? And then of course it got reprinted, so I've wasted a little bit of money, and of course I wanted the secret rares from the Stampede set. I'm not a massive fan of Quarter Century, I have to say. I know a lot of people like it, but I think it's just a little bit too much. There's a couple of cards in here that I probably would change out for actually slightly lower rarity if I possibly could. Well, I wouldn't say that, to be honest. I do like the Quarter Centuries. It's just that I prefer just the regular secret rare, how it's a little bit more subtle than perhaps the Quarter Century. But the Abyss Spikes are here, of course. Adding 1 level 3 water monster, you know, you can't go wrong with that. Next 3-off, of course, it makes everything work really, so we're moving on to the Atlantean cards as opposed to Mermails, of course, and the Prince himself, also a 3-off, of course. This is really what sort of drew me into putting the deck together as well, because his artwork's absolutely fantastic. Well, most of the artwork's pretty fantastic, to be honest with you, but this one in particular obviously came out as secret rare in Rarity Collection 3. Sorry, I'm a bit snotty today. But yes, so I've got the secret rares, that's what I wanted, and those are the look I wanted. I think there are ultimate rare ones out there, but A, they're probably very pricey, and B, probably not in the best condition anymore. So, because this deck does get played, you know, it can be a meta deck if you get this right. And I'm not saying I've built this for the meta, because when you see the list, you know, it's missing quite a lot of hand traps, and I'm not one to run loads of hand traps. But it could quite easily be manipulated into a meta deck, in my opinion. So if I did want to take it to locals, I might make a few changes. But I've just gone for a sort of pure Mermail Atlantean build with one or two little surprises in there. But obviously the prince is in there. Obviously there's lots of ways to get to the prince as well, but obviously it adds an Atlantean card from the deck. And then obviously you can special summon from the graveyard as well. So yes, a very, very handy card. One of the ways of getting to it, of course, is Atlantean Dragoons. So Dragoons, very popular card, obviously in the Mermail list, and obviously why is because it adds one sea serpent monster, which of course, generally speaking, is going to be the prince. But again, fantastic artwork on the Dragoons. Again, it is available as ultimate rare, but I've just stuck with the secret rares. I just like the newer prints. I like just how clean they look, and obviously I can get them in good condition because they are newer cards. One of the newer new support, I should say, is Bishrine, the Atlantic Spirit, which obviously also counts as a Mermail card as well. But yeah, she will special summon one level 7, basically water monster from the deck, and a graveyard effect, of course, to draw a card as well. So very, very nice. It came out in the Rage of the Abyss again. Obviously that was a nice set for this particular deck list. Stuck with 3, of course. Now these are one of the options that you could possibly take out if you did want to make a slightly stronger build. I've gone for some of the deep sea stuff as well. So obviously Diva's in here. Diva will special summon a level 3 or lower sea serpent, which again obviously is another way of getting to prince if that's what you want to do. There's 1 or 2 synchro options in here as well, of course, so she's acting as a tuner. So I just thought, you know, if I'm not going to make this massive meta deck, then Deep Sea Diva's a good option for it anyway. That's it for the 3 offs. So moving on to 2 offs, we've got Poseidra, the Storming Atlantean. This one again is one of the newer cards and came out in the latest set, which is Supreme Darkness at the time of recording this, of course. The new set's actually due out next week. So I've completely forgotten what it's called. Alliance something or other, isn't it? I can't remember. But yes, so Poseidra will special summon itself from the hand, and of course return one of your opponents to the hand as well. So very, very handy card, but I think it's sort of late combo card, so which is why it's a 2 of and not a 3. And then quickly moving on to a few 1-ofs. To be fair, there's more than a few here. Let's start with this sort of Mermail Atlantean stuff. So I have got 1 Mermail Abyss Megalo, 1 Mermail Abyss Lead, 1 Abyss Gunda, and 1, of course, Atlantean Heavy Infantry. Just move those up a tad. There we go. Now this is one of the platinum rare ones, again from Rarity Collection 4. I might go back to my super rare. It's a little bit too blingy, this platinum rare, especially in the main deck. I don't mind it so much in the extra deck for some reason, but in the main deck I just think it's a little bit too much. But that's just my personal preference, of course. But Abyss Megaleo will special summon itself from the hand whilst adding a spell or trap. Abyss Lead again can special summon itself from hand. These require obviously water discards, which themselves gain you effects depending on what you're discarding. This one of course adds Abyss Lead also adds a spell trap from the graveyard. Abyss Gunda it's just one of those options I just decided to go with, but if it's discarded it can special summon a Mermail from the graveyard. And Infantry Gives you the extra normal summon, and if discarded, you can destroy a card, a face-up card. So nice and easy, all one-offs of course, but that's what I've chosen to go with. And again, not all of these are essentials, so if you did want to include some more meta cards, then by all means do so. You've got plenty of scope to do it with. So moving away from Mermail Atlantean, so I've got one Deep Sea Minstrel, one Mermail Glacier, one Ice Jade Ran Azurine, is it? And one Super Ancient Deep Sea King Kaleakanth. So I think that's how you pronounce it anyway. Mistral plays a big part in some. I watched some of the Vegas, the recent tournament, and Minstrel played quite a big part. I actually don't like the artwork that much. I don't think it's the greatest, but the effects were, of course, where you can look at your opponent's hand and banish one from it is too good to miss. I thought it might hit the ban list along with Mermail Glacier, but neither of them got hit, so they're both in. And obviously they're only one-offs really, but the banish from hand, of course, is a good option, and Mermail Glacier to banish 2 random ones from the hand as well is even better. It just means obviously you can dodge some of the hand traps that potentially your opponent will throw at you. Ice Jade are actually running ice barriers as well. Obviously it's an easy special summon and gets the token to go into the level 10 synchro. And Deep Sea King, of course, will just special summon a load of fish for you, and then you can go ahead and use them as material. That's it for the monster count, guys. Like I say, quite a large monster count, but as I did promise, I've got 5 spells to talk to you about. So let's see if I can get all these on. I don't think I'll be able to get them. Ooh, close, isn't it? Close. Let's see if we can just tuck them on there. Not quite, but we'll overlap a little bit for nice and neat. There we go. I like nice and neat stuff. There we go. So yeah, all 5 are one-offs, of course. Abyss Sting Triana. Again, most lists that I've seen will play a one-off of this because it can special summon from the hand or graveyard. You know, one of your Atlantean or Mermail monsters, and then equips to it, of course, and it also offers a little bit of recursion as well, which is great. I've also included this, the Mizuchi, again, probably one you could drop if you wanted to add something a bit more potent, but it will add 800 attack points once equipped and negate 1 spell. Area will add 1 level 4 lower Sea Serpent monster, 1/1 we all know, and Called by the Grave we all know. I also just wanted the excuse to run this version of 1/1 because I think it's the only deck I run the alt-art version of 1/1, but it's really, really cute, and I just thought, right, definitely go in this deck. It's another way to print, of course. And then moving on to traps, for the first time I'm running Dominus Impulse. So I have the Purges in my Exorcist deck, and the Impulses now are going in my Mermale and Atlantean deck. So this is probably one of the meta cards in here, and I don't mind running like things like this because it is specific. Well, it's not specific for water, but it's obviously a bit of negation. It's not an obvious card, and I just love the artwork. Obviously, with it having a blue theme as well, fits nicely in the aesthetics. And it's just a good card to play with this deck. So what can I tell you? It's gone in. I also run 2 of the newer card, which is Abyss Steam and one of the Virtue Stream, because I am running Virtue Dragon in the extra deck. Is it called Virtue Dragon? Yeah, Virtue Dragon, yeah. So those are again out of Rage of the Abyss. So it's just a nice little water edition, I think. And Abyss Steam allows you to draw a card depending on what you're discarding, and in a graveyard effect as well, add 1 Mermail to the hand. So a little bit of a trick, not a trick, sorry, but it is one of the later cards, so I really wanted to try it. This one's again out of Supreme Darkness, so that's the addition. But again, these can be changed, and you know, the ratios can be manipulated depending on how serious you wanted to take this list. But that is the end of the main deck, guys. Moving on to the extra deck, and I'll make it quick because I didn't want it to be too long a video. but we are running a mixture of XCs, Link and Synchro. So we'll start with the XCs, of course. I have got the Mermail Abyss Gaios in the Ultimate Rare, which I think I had in my, yeah, no, it's one I had in my collection anyway. Really pretty card. Absolutely love this, and it is a really good condition version, this card, so really wanted to make it play that one, which obviously I have. The new one, again out of Rage of the Abyss, is Poseidra Abyss, the Atlantean Dragon Lord. Just a one-off though. Abyss Strike, the Atlantean Spirit. I've run everything, by the way, that is Mermail or Abyss. Atlantean, sorry, not Abyss. So there's at least a one-off on all of them. Number 4, Stealth Kraken. Mentioned before, Le Virtue Dragon, and 1 Mermail Abyss Strike. So yeah, again, like I say, one of everything basically, just to have a good shout at them. But they've all got their own decent effects. So yeah, I just wanted to make sure I've got one of everything in there. Link-wise, excuse me, 1 Mermail Abyssalacia, that's right, yeah, something like that. 1 Minister Coral Anemone, 1 Area the Water Charmer Gentle, 1 Mermail King Neptubis, and 1 World Sea Dragon Zelantis. A fairly obvious lineup. I think maybe the area could be changed out for something, but everything else has their place, and that's what I've chosen to go with so far. And of course the synchro options, these are where I changed out some of the XC's options that I was going to go for before the ban list came up. But the Ice Jade monster, of course, that we spoke about earlier, Trishula, Dragon of the Ice Barrier. There's always a place for Trish if you can make it. White Aura Whale is one of my favourites. Again, I run this in a fair few of my water decks. And White Aura Porpoise, which again is the first time I've run this one in the deck, but really, because it obviously supports fish, it's the only deck I can really run it in. Actually, having said that, I could possibly run it in Legendary Fisherman, but I'm not sure how much of that is actually fish actually. So, but yeah, it's the obvious one for this deck anyway. And that's it, guys. That's the end of the deck profile. Thank you so much for tuning in this far. Like I said to you before, I've really enjoyed putting this one together. I really pondered over the ratios for quite some time. This is what I've settled on, but this is where you guys come into it. Feel free to put some comments in there about the ratios that I've chosen. What you might do to change it. If there's anything that you think that actually as a casual build you might find this is useful, or don't put that in because of this, that's the kind of advice I was looking for. But I do hope you like the list, and obviously if you do like it, say so. I really like reading through the comments and obviously replying to them. Guys, we'll see you for the next profile. I've got Exorcist being rebuilt at the moment because that was hit quite hard on the ban list, for at least for my list anyway. But that's the only thing I've got going at the moment, but we'll see you again for the next profile. Cheers guys, bye bye.